Are we live? Okay, I will start now. Thank you everyone who has joined us today. My name is Alexander Blooms. I work in the Latvian Ministry of Education and Science, and I will be moderating today's event. This webinar aims to promote bilateral cooperation for emerging global challenges in space and aerospace. These are sectors that have experienced tremendous growth, even during this time of the pandemic. And Latvia has a prestigious scientific tradition in space, with many small high-tech companies. And on the other hand, Italy and the Italian aerospace industry is composed of a large number of companies operating over the whole value chain of the space economy. So this webinar will involve our agencies, associations, and enterprises, and aim to achieve common technological advantages and joint participation in space projects. And we hope that this event will be a first step to get to know each other better, and also to identify areas of common interest where we can work together in the coming years. So now for the first introductory remarks, I would like to welcome His Excellency, the Ambassador of Italy to Latvia, Stefano Tellini De Marchio. Please.
Good morning to everybody. I am the Ambassador of Italy in Latvia, and we are in Riga. Welcome to everybody. The idea of this webinar started months ago when I read the space strategy of Latvia 2021 to 2027. And I immediately understood that there was a lot to do for us, for Italy and Latvia together, because both we have knowledge, we have human resources, technologies, and most important, world leader industries and research center. So this was the idea, to put the two countries together. This is the reason why I am so honored to introduce the first Latvian-Italian webinar on space and aerospace of Latvia to Italy. And I want to salute also my colleague, His Excellency the Ambassador of Latvia to Italy, Solvita Boltina. From the other side of the hall, she worked with me to connect company and to promote huge number of people-to-people relation. To underline the importance of today's video conference, I would like to thank the State Secretary of the Ministry of Education and Science, Mr. Yanis Volberts, and Mr. Manlio Di Stefano, the Undersecretary of State of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Their presence today is relevant and marks the start of an enhanced cooperation in a field where Italy and Latvia have much to say. I am also particularly grateful for the presence today of Mr. Giorgio Saccoccia, the president of the Italian Space Agency. He will give us an important guideline of one of the most important world stakeholders on space activities. Together with my counterpart and friend, Mr. Kaspar Karolis, that I salute, we conceived the webinar like a cake composed of 3 layers: the political and institutional level, the space agency and company association, and of course the industries and research institute. For us, the seminar must be a first step to open door, and we are ready to give continuity to the dialogue for the near future with B2B and seminar, with the full involvement of the Italian Trade Agency, ICE, and I salute the president of ICE, Mr. Ferro, and LIA, the Latvian Investment and Development Agency, in order to create a permanent bilateral network between us. Today we will listen and discuss with top players of the Italian space and aerospace industry. Italians are proud of E-Geos, Thales Alenia Space, Leonardo, Avio, and Telespazio. The same interest will have to listen about high-tech Latvian industries like RBD Alpha Microelectronics, Allaterm, Baltic Satellite Services, and Eventech. The aim is to find areas of technological and industrial cooperation between us, and also in the context of the European Space Agency. Space economy is booming for the next decade. Lots of investment are planned. Public and private competition has already started. Latvia and Italy have an interest to join forces in a number of fields. One of them is Earth observation, in my opinion, and all application on pollution control, oil spill, sea level rise, water and land consumption, pandemic control, illegal deforestation, and cultural heritage. Allow me to conclude my intervention to salute and congratulate astronaut Samantha Cristofanetti, that on the 19th of May, just now, she was appointed as first European woman commander of Expedition 68 of SpaceX Crew Dragon, planned for a flight in 2022. Being very near to our National Day on the 2nd of June, we can say that Italy and Latvia will celebrate this event in the space. I wish you all a fruitful, dynamic webinar, taking note that the Embassy of Italy in Riga is always ready to act and as a bridge between Latvia and Italy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. And now I would like to welcome the Ambassador of Latvia to Italy, Her Excellency Solvita Abotiņa.
Tutti, labrīt visiem Latvijā un Itālijā. Mani dzird? Good morning. I am very honored to attend such an important event, because Latvia and Italy are bound by 100 years of mutual friendship. This year we celebrate several important anniversaries. 100 years for the Euro recognition of Latvia and the establishment of diplomatic relations between our countries. 30 years since the support for the restoration of Latvia's independence and the restoration of our diplomatic relations. Friendship begins with good diplomatic relations. Friendship is strengthened by good economic relations, but friendship is made unshakable by strong relations and cooperations in culture, art, science, and education. Immediately after the establishment of our diplomatic relations 100 years ago, cooperation between Latvia and Italy developed rapidly in all directions. Just a few examples. The first international commercial exhibition in Latvia took place shortly after the First World War on July 31st, 1921, along which local entrepreneurs, almost 20 countries, demonstrated their achievements and exhibited their goods. 5 of them, including Italy, created a separate pavilion. On July 25th, 1925, Latvia and Italy signed a trade agreement. Even after Latvia regained its independence in 1991, Italy was one of the first countries to open its embassy in Riga. Latvia had to regain the place lost in the 50 years of occupation of the USSR. Once again, culture, art, education, and science were areas in which cooperation developed rapidly, and thanks to which our return to intellectual space of the world and Europe happened self-evidently. Latvian and Italian cooperation in culture, art, science, and education still plays an important role in our mutual relations. As seen by Latvia's constant participation in the Venice Biennale, the frequent presence of Latvian artists on Italian opera stages, and the regular presence of Italian artists at Latvian events. Cultural cooperation was also mentioned by the presidents of Latvia and Italy during the recent visit of the President of the Republic of Latvia to Rome in this special year of Latvia-Italia relations. I personally still consider that cooperation between various Latvian and Italian universities to be one of the most important forms of cooperation, and I hope that the epidemical situation improves. The exchange of students and lecturers will resume with new vigor, and new cooperation agreements will be concluded between Latvia and Italian universities. Today's events, literally and figuratively, will open new horizons for our cooperation. The decision on bilateral and European space cooperation between Latvia and Italy is both a challenge and a test of our ability and confirmation and recognition of our achievements so far in the field of space exploration. I am truly convinced that the most ambitious goals can be achieved if there is a professional team in which the knowledge and skills of each participant find the right application. I wish the participants of today's event to realize their most ambitious dreams, successful cooperation and project realization, but for today, an interesting and fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. And now we will have two addresses by the respective ministries in each of the countries. So I would like to begin by welcoming the Undersecretary of State of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Manilo Di Stefano, please.
Good morning. I am very glad to participate in this webinar dedicated to the Italy-Latvia space cooperation, and I would like to thank all today's guests. It is an honor to have here with us representatives of Latvian institutions as well as exponents of leading companies from both Italy and Latvia, exchanging their point of view on the bilateral cooperation on the space sector for the very first time. Today's meeting aims at promoting cooperation for emerging global challenges in highly innovative and technological sectors such as space and aerospace, which are experiencing worldwide one of the greatest growth even in the pandemic context. We want to start a collaboration in a field so far little explored of our bilateral relations, but in which both countries have developed a tradition, research and industrial experience. Latvia has a prestigious scientific tradition in the space field, which received recognitions in 2020 when Latvia first became associate member of the European Space Agency. This has been a significant starting point, leading unspeakably to full participation in the agency in 2025, a final step that Italy strongly hopes for. With the adoption of the new EU space program and the NATO overreaching space policy in 2019, both the European Union and NATO member states have confirmed the growing importance of space for their security, economy, and prosperity. Strengthening space systems and related technologies will be a priority of the Western economies in the next decades, facing a rapidly expanding competitive international market. The European Parliament concluded last month the approval process for the new space program regulation of the EU, with the largest budget ever for space, amounting to 14.8 billion euros until 2027. These allocations, combined with national ones, will definitely make EU a protagonist of the new space economy, being able to compete with the United States, Russia, China, India, and Japan. We see concrete possibilities for an Italian-Latvian scientific and industrial cooperation, also based on 4 pillars at the European level. I'm thinking about the EU Earth Observation Program Copernicus on Earth monitoring, Galileo on positioning and satellite navigation, space situational awareness on the surveillance of the space
Okay, it appears there's some technical issue with the video, but I think it was a very good introduction, and also I'm sure that we will be able to get a link to this video posted along with the... Hello? Sorry, is the connection not working on my side, or did the video freeze? Okay, I suspect it's the video then. Yes, in that case, I would like to welcome the next speaker. So, Secretary of State of the Latvian Ministry of Education and Science, Jānis Volberts, please. Jāni Volberts, vai ir iespējams atmutēt mikrofonu? Okay, I don't think I have the option to unmute Jānis. Okay, maybe let's try this. Could Giorgio Sarkochia try to unmute his microphone? Because it looks like our technical host has dropped out. Okay, so it appears that I'm the only one who is able to unmute currently. So let's wait for her to rejoin and then unmute the State Secretary. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm Mr. Nicolongo from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It seems we have just a 2-minute delay for a technical problem, but technical issues are be dealt with immediately, and we will solve the problem in just a matter of time. So please be patient. I will ask you just 1 minute, and then we will go back immediately. Thank you, Alexander.
Here we are. My apologies. So I ask the moderator if we want to go forward with Mr. Jānis Volberts. Tell me if that's okay for you.
Yes, and then if possible, then we can add the video of the Undersecretary. Yeah, along. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
So now I welcome Jānis Volberts, the State Secretary of the Latvian Ministry of Education and Science. Please.
Mr. Volbert, your microphone is open on my side, but you have to open it yourself as well.
I think now we are good and we can proceed. Thank you, technical administration and Alexander, and dear ambassadors, excellences, and colleagues. Indeed, on behalf of Ministry of Education and Science, I'm glad to welcome you all to this first Latvia and Italy space industry webinar, and pleased to take this opportunity to briefly introduce you with the latest developments of Latvian space sector. First of all, we are happy about good start as associate member of ESA from 2020. Latvian companies' success in Hera mission and the Lunar Gateway clearly show that Latvia are on the right path. We are certain that cooperation with ESA, related platforms, organizations, and states will give us essential push-up. We are actively using our opportunities in ESA. We are close that Riga Technical University will join the ESA Lab network, and European Space Education Resource Office will be established in Latvia soon. We are considering opportunities ESA Business Incubation Center can bring, both with ESA experts and internally. That would support promising space-related startups in order to become successful companies. We see a couple of tools to support and encourage Latvian-Italian space industry collaboration. ESA optional program GSTP, which is good for bilateral cooperation, and ESA requested party activities, which are flexible programs and great to promote the fields and technologies in which Latvia is strong and can support common interests. We would be happy to discuss it with Italian Space Agency in details at a later stage. Just in conclusion, I would like to say that Latvia is a country with industrial and intellectual infrastructure, with technical capabilities suitable for space industry and are part of European space family. I hope this webinar and follow-up activities will give small but firm steps towards Latvian-Italian collaboration in space. Hope you all will benefit from this event and enjoy, and please enjoy your time, and thank you for your participation.
Thank you very much. So now we will have a series of interventions from both industry and the public sector. I just ask each of the speakers to remember that the interventions are 5 minutes long, and I will remind you in case you go too much over the time. So for those listening through the platform, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat as these interventions are happening. And also those listening to the stream, you're welcome to post some questions, and then my colleague will send them to me, and I will try to ask them at the end of each intervention. And then just another small detail. So while I'm announcing the speakers are welcome to start already loading their presentations if they have some presentations. So the first speaker will be from the president of the Italian Space Agency, Giorgio Sarcoccia, please.
Good morning, everybody. Now I've been unmuted. First of all, let me give my regards to Ambassador Tagliani Marchi, Ambassador Solvita Aboltina, Undersecretary of State Mario Di Stefano, and State Secretary Yanis Volbert for the introduction to this very interesting webinar that I think is an excellent opportunity to trigger further and more fruitful relation and collaboration between Italy and Latvia in the space field. As it has been already recalled, Latvia is a new associate member state of ESA, and I like to remind everybody that Italy was one of the founding members of ESA in 1975, and of course, the Italian Space Agency has always represented the national interest within the European Space Agency framework. And of course, in this role, ASI is extremely welcome to, extremely pleased and happy to welcome Latvia as a new associate member state of ESA. We have been witnessing the excellent performances of Latvia as European cooperating states in the time frame 15 to 20. And it has just been recalled the participation of Latvia to important exploration programs. And of course, I'm very proud to say that Italy is a leading country in the frame of the European Space Agency in exploration programs. So we see excellent opportunities of collaboration already in these fields between Italy and Latvia. Moving to the field of European Union, we know that, of course, Latvia is a member state of the European Union since 2004. Is participating since 2004 very actively in the Horizon in technology program, technical program of the European Union, in particular in the Horizon 2020 program. And we believe that there will be also in this frame excellent opportunities for collaboration between Italy and Latvia by using at best the opportunities offered by Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe, the follow-up of this program, and through the participation of activities of interest of the newly born European Union Agency for Space Program in Prague. It was mentioned already by the ambassador that Italy is one of the few countries in the world which participates to the every sectors in the space field. We have a long-standing tradition in space activities that goes back to the 60s, and we believe we can be considered an important partners for collaboration at the international level with several countries in the world. We cover the full value chain in space activities. We have a full set of stakeholders involved in space activities, starting from the formation of our young people in excellent level universities. We have a complete scale of industries that operates in space-related activities. Today, we'll have the opportunity to listen directly from the voices of representatives of large, medium, small enterprises that are very fruitfully represented by their associations about what Italy is doing in the space field and what is the potential for collaboration with the countries in Europe and in the world. Looking in detail of some possible interesting technology domains of cooperation, we believe that certainly in technologies related to the upstream sectors, to the satellite sectors, we have a lot of areas of potential synergies between Italy and Latvia, between Italian and Latvian industries. Just to quote a few subjects, but it is only as a reference, I'm talking about, for example, LiDAR technologies, extremely important for both Earth observation and future exploration missions, heat pipes, composite materials, and etc. But again, we are really open to investigate and explore opportunities in different fields. As well as, hardware, say, related development, the domain of software development in Earth observation, in dealing with Earth observation data, which is of course extremely valuable and usable nowadays, can be explored between Italian and Latvian partners. For example, for the realization of instruments, components, materials, and space-derived downstream solutions. This can be explored through ESA, through direct bilateral collaboration, and as I mentioned before, for example, in the field of the Horizon Europe framework, European Union Horizon Europe framework, where I think we should take advantage of the experience we made already, several attempts made in the framework of Horizon 2020 to set up collaboration between Italian and Latvian industry to make joint proposals. And I think we should take advantage of a lesson learned that we had in those attempts to build up better and more solid relationship for the future to come up with attractive and solid proposals for the future. So I just would like to conclude my intervention saying that from the point of view of the Italian Space Agency, we are of course fully open and we are very enthusiastic of creating opportunities for collaboration between Italian and Latvian industries, between Italian and Latvian universities, to explore opportunities for collaboration and common growth in the future in this important field. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So next we will hear from Kaspars Rožkalns, the director of the Latvian Investment and Development Agency. And I will just briefly mention that the agency works to increase the export and competitiveness of Latvian companies, facilitate foreign investments, and also implement tourism development and innovation policies. So please, Kaspars Rožkalns.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, ambassadors, distinguished guests, dear participants. Yeah, I'm Kaspars Rožkalns from Investment and Development Agency of Latvia, and as already my colleague mentioned, that we take care of multiple parts and multiple sectors in Latvia. Investment attraction is one of them, export promotion, tourism promotion, innovation boosting, and currently we'll take care of unified country branding also within our agency. Our mission is to provide the high-quality services that meet the real needs of the customers in order to increase the Latvian international competitiveness. Therefore, obviously, we have a lot of support tools for entrepreneurs, starting from the business incubators, the startup law, and boosting up to the export promotion and with different types of support and incentive programs for innovations, on innovation vouchers, and so on and so on. Therefore, what we have and what we want to kind of provide also for the space industry and for the space company is to boost the innovation and to add this high added values. Therefore, our priorities are in the smart specialization, like bioeconomy, the ICT, photonics, smart materials, biomedicine, mobility, and smart energy. And all these sectors are aligned and cross-aligned with the space industry, or at least most of them. Therefore, we see the space industry is not only what obviously happens in the space, but the space industry is actually growing mostly on the land, because a lot of technology that is developed for the space purposes first can be later on used on not that much in the space at all. If we talk a little bit about Latvian and Italian collaboration, that the last year our goods and services turnover with Italy was 854 million euros, and that ranked Italy as 12th most important trade partner for Latvia. That is understandable, but we see there's a lot of room for improvement, and therefore we actually are now in the process on the final stretch to choose our representative that will open office in Milan. I hope in already either late this summer or early autumn this year. We also know that Italy is one of the leading European countries in the space exploration. Therefore, we are very open to cooperation. I would like to create the joint projects, as already previous speakers mentioned, in Horizon 2020 or Horizon Europe, or obviously the cooperation with this European Space Agency. We started some projects with European Space Agency from 2009 and became full partners just last year. Therefore, this year is our full as a members for the first time. In Latvia, the space industry is in, let's say, developing stage. However, you already heard about some of success stories and successful niche projects. Since 2015, the Latvia made notable investments in space-related industries, and mainly through various ESA and other international projects. Therefore, we have some cutting-edge research and technology that you'll hear later on today, and we see this as a big potential, the big next step for entrepreneurs and opportunity in this this area, because this is joins the innovation, the science, and obviously the highly skilled labor need for those sectors. Our if we talk about the Latvian core competencies in the space exploration, it's insulation materials for launchers, Earth observation applications, space-related ICT downstream solutions, event timing devices, satellite and space debris laser and radio ranging, radiation detection technology, fiber optic gyroscopes, space resources, utilization capacity building, thermal engineering solutions, thermal vacuum testing solutions and systems and services for that, cryogenic refrigeration and vacuum systems, designing and development of them, and electric propulsion systems, designing and developing of those systems. The space industry in the can be and most likely will be the next big thing. And currently, we're looking at the potential that in 1970s or 1980s internet had. Therefore, when in 1970s and 80s, the internet had the first kind of tryouts, and nobody really believed that this is possible. We see this the current I don't know, the rebirth of the space industry was the commercial sector starting to get in it realistically. This might become the next big thing, and therefore the Latvia is looking to explore opportunities with the companies in specific niches where we can be the first commerce, and therefore enjoying the first movers advantage. Therefore, I really hope that after today's meeting we'll be able to find many common things and common projects, so that new international teams can be formed by working on a joint projects. And I really wish everybody a very successful day. And from our agency side, we will try to support with different incentives these space development companies as much as we can. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now we will hear from Kaspar's counterpart in the Italian Trade Agency. So the Italian Trade Agency is a government agency that supports business development of Italian companies abroad, promotes the attraction of foreign investments to Italy, provides information assistance consulting to Italian companies, specifically focusing on small and medium businesses. And similarly to what Kaspar's mentioned for Latvia about this national branding, the agency also works with the Made in Italy and promotes that abroad. So please, Carlo Ferro, the president of the Italian Space Agency.
Thank you,
sorry, Trade Agency.
Italian Trade Agency. Thank you. Thank you, Alexander. Good morning, everyone. My greetings to Honorable Manlio Di Stefano, Honorable Yanis Volper, His Excellency the Ambassador Stefano Tagliani De Marchio, Her Excellency the Ambassador Solvita Abottina, President Sacoccia, Director Roscarns, all the speakers and the participants. For me, it's a great honor to give remarks today in respect to both the relevance and the critical role of the space industry in Italy and the potential I see for extended bilateral and European cooperation in the field with Latvia. In the years, our two countries have been able to progressively build up a mutually beneficial trade with a bilateral trade of over 600 million euros in 2020. And today the time is coming to strengthen our cooperation also in the space industry, leveraging on the participation of Latvia to the European Space Agency as an associate member. Traditionally, the space industry has been more related to national defense and military strategy. Today, in the emerging so-called new space, private companies and players open new opportunities in commercial business and contribute to accelerate the space research and new applications. Some of these areas of cooperation have been identified by the organizer as the key topics for today's panels, ranging from space thermal systems to situational awareness, to geoinformation services and health observation. And I believe that together our two countries' industries will be able to effectively tackle these global changes, and I believe really Italy could be a key partner for Latvia and vice versa. In fact, the Italian aerospace industry is vibrant, rapidly growing and eager. Mr. Sacoccia highlighted that, and we are eager to establish new relationships in Europe and across the world. As in many value chain of excellence for the Made in Italy, it's about a cluster comprised of large champions and many innovative SMEs and startups, paired with the excellence of public and private center of research and university, which is cross-fertilizing innovation and boosting specialization across the entire space value chain, from system integration to design to added value services. All these factors have made Italy the fourth aerospace industry in Europe and the 8th exporter worldwide. For this reason, I repeat, I believe that Italy could be a valuable partner for countries like Latvia that carry on a stronger tradition in the field and want to strengthen their private industry, highly specialized in certain market segments. Our task as the Italian Trade Agency is to facilitate this connection. We do so under the coordination of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and in stronger cooperation with the Italian Space Agency and the Italian Industry Association. We operate in Latvia since 2012 from our office in Stockholm, and this, as everywhere, is for promoting companies in the main Italian fairs with the incoming of foreign buyers, and abroad in the main international events, facilitating the collective participation of our industry representatives. Most recently, the aerospace and defense meetings in Sevilla are an example of this case. We accompany this action with specific communication and promotional campaigns, informative events, B2B meetings on our Fiera Smart 365 platform like today, and with the support of our 78 offices around the world. I conclude. I strongly believe that the recovery post-COVID requires new strategies, new actions, and new partnerships to address a changing international scenario. And given the sector, allow me to conclude with a famous sentence applied to today's context. I wish that all participants, that this meeting is a small step leading to a big journey of cooperation between Latvia and Italy in the space industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we will have some more interventions. And next, I would like to...
Blooms, excuse me, if you agree, yes, we could send the video of the ministry right now, if is that okay for you?
Okay, we're running a bit over time, so
okay,
perhaps
fine.
if we could start from the point where we left off.
Ah, yes, absolutely. Chiedo alla regia tecnica di inviare il video dal punto in cui abbiamo avuto lo stop prima, per favore.
Good morning. A protagonist of the new space economy, being able to compete with the United States, Russia, China, India, and Japan. We see concrete possibilities for an Italian-Latvian scientific and industrial cooperation, also based on 4 pillars at the European level. I'm thinking about the EU Earth Observation Program Copernicus on Earth monitoring, Galileo on positioning and satellite navigation, space situational awareness on the surveillance of the space environment, and the EU Governmental Satellite Communications Program for secure institutional communication. In this framework, we wish to strengthen our collaboration with Latvia also through ASI, the Italian Space Agency, to implement mutual projects in space, science, and exploration. We want also to involve agencies and associations operating in the space sector, as well as our large, small, and medium-sized enterprises and startups, in order to achieve common technological advantages, common participation in space projects, guaranteeing quality, employment, and economic returns. We take today as an important first step to get to know each other better, to create interactions between our companies, associations, and research centers with the aim to identify areas of common interest where we can work together. Our aerospace sector is characterized by a large number of companies that cover all sectors of the space economy, placing Italy at the forefront of global competition thanks to a complete supply chain of products and services. A strategic role is played in this regard by our 3 trade associations, IAD, IPAS, and ASAS. They include all the companies belonging to the sector, little and medium enterprises, and the most innovative startups that have just entered the market. Another area of interest is the space technological cooperation between universities and research centers. It is my hope that our meeting today will help our companies and our academic centers to get connected and help establish closer forms of collaboration. Finally, I would like to mention that on April 30, Italy submitted to the European Commission its National Recovery and Resilience Plan. It is based on 6 missions, the first of which concerns, in particular, digitalization, innovation, and competitiveness, with allocations of around 33 billion euros for 3 sectors. Space economy is among these planned actions, with particular reference to Earth observation, access to space, and the in-orbit economy, and an overall budget of almost 2 billion euros. This is a clear sign of the attention that Italy is dedicating to space activities, since they are strategic for the economic and technological development, as well as for the European dimension that distinguishes their scope of action and their investment coordination. I'm confident that the today high-level contributions and the presentation from both Latvian and Italian companies and associations will pave the way for closer cooperation between our countries and will help merge our qualities and technological capabilities for an harmonious development of our countries and for the prosperity of all European next generations. I thank you and I wish you a fruitful participation.
Yes, thank you for that intervention. So I would like to welcome the president of the Italian Industries Federation for Aerospace, Defense and Security. So IAD, as the organization is known, is the federation that represents, as is stated in the name, Italian companies for aerospace, defense and security, and includes almost all the national enterprises for civil and military aerospace, military, navy, and army sectors. So please, Giuseppe Adidon.
Good morning. Good morning to the political authorities. Thank you to their excellencies, the ambassadors, and all the distinguished institutional guests, industrial colleagues that are attending this webinar. Just a snapshot to introduce AIA, the Italian Federation of Aerospace, Defense and Security Industries, which has been founded in 1947 and includes almost the totality of the national advanced technology enterprise operating in these fields and the design, production, research and service activities for civil and military aerospace and defense companies. The association is headquartered in Rome, has offices in Brussels, over 160 associates. It is a founding member of the National Technology Cluster for Aerospace and is a member of the European Association ASD. The role of the federation is to assess all the issues of policy assessing the country, the sector, and contributing to the development of the sector, and fostering activities, cooperation framework, and facilitating cooperation frameworks between the various companies and national contests that are interested. We have a relationship with ministries, various organizations in the Italian environment, of course, the Italian Trade Agency, and the INA, CAESI, Italian Space Agency, INAB, and CTNA. But also foreign-wise with European institutions, European organization, and world international organization as well. The gathering all the most representative industry in the fields mentioned, the IAT members almost accounting for 1.8 billion of revenues in terms of euros, and in terms of space, actually we are marking in Europe third industry concern after Germany and France, employing about 5,500 headcounts with respect to the 7,000, which is the total of Italy, and the 70% of our revenues are exported. That brings we are very, very keen in maintaining an adequate level of competitiveness on the international market for our memberships. The AIA members are active, covering the whole value chain of the space activity, from the mission design, system design, midstream activities, and downstream activities with development of application and services in a way, and with a huge variety of technology domains covered. And this is done through, let me say, a composition which is a mix of large system integrators, large mission integrators, small and medium companies with a very a huge number of interesting startups that are emerging, developing very interesting technologies on the forefront of the new application in the models of the new space. There is really a wide range of international agreements covering different countries around the world, which is possible to spot on this slide. And our promotion activity and fostering of activities toward possible opportunities of international cooperation is also, of course, pursued through the participation within the framework of the established activities of the Trade Agency of Italy and the other institutional opportunities to the main international events of interest for the sectors. So this is basically the snapshot, and thank you all, and I wish a fruitful continuation for the workshop today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So next we will hear from the Association of Italian Space Enterprises, which is a non-profit association founded in 1998 with the aim of representing the interests of Italian space enterprises. So I would like to welcome the Secretary of Eiropas, Rosario Pavone, please.
I think I will start. Hello? I think I will start the presentation. I'm Luca Rossettini. I'm the president of Eiropas. So good morning, everybody. I would like to thank Her Excellency Solvita Albotin and His Excellency Stefano Tagliani De Marchio for organizing this event and for the kind invitation. I greet Under Secretary Honorable Manlio Di Stefano and Secretary Honorable Reinis Znotnis and all the attending authorities and colleagues. Eiropas is the Space Industries Association representing more than 50 Italian space companies, including large enterprises, independent mid-caps, small and medium enterprises, and many of the most innovative startups of the Italian space and new space sector. Our companies are active both in the upstream and in the downstream, covering all the value chain of space activities. We are particularly dedicated to support the cooperation and the convergence of interests between space enterprises with different characteristics, from larger and smaller companies that are active both in the traditional and in the new space markets. In Italy, in the last 5 to 10 years, several innovative enterprises started their activities, drawing the attention of European and international risk capital investors. Today, Italian space companies have an established reputation at the global level for their reliability, for the quality of their products, and for the ability to ride the wave of the evolving markets. Thanks to an extensive experience in the European and international programs and a natural attitude to inventiveness and innovation, Italian space industry has the ability not only to follow the fast change of the market, but even to anticipate and predict the direction of the market. This kind of information in an ever-evolving market that is more and more open to international competition has become essential for the decision-making process at the national and European level. In fact, in the case of national space strategies, but also of joint efforts of cooperation, as in the present case for Latvia and Italy, it is always important to have a clear and strategic vision of the entire space sector. This is where the industrial associations can play a central role by providing essential information for the effectiveness of public decisions and policies. Industrial associations have information about the strength and the weakness of the entire space sector, about the capabilities of all the space companies, about their activities and interests in foreign markets. All this kind of information are vital for the growth and resilience of the space industry and to consolidate it as a strategic driving force for the economy of our countries. In conclusion, the main purpose and usefulness of an association such as ours is to be an information provider to the companies and to the decision makers to help to achieve both private and public development goals. A presentation will be available to all participants with more details on Eiropas members companies and their capabilities and our point of contact. Eiropas is also the co-founder and the operative secretariat of SME for Space, the European representative organization of space SMEs. And I leave the floor now to Rosario Pavone, Secretary of Eiropas and Secretary of SME for Space, for a very short focus on this matter. Thank you, and Rosario, the floor is yours.
Mr. Pavone, I have opened your microphone, but you have to switch it on as well. Apre il microfono lei. Io l'ho già aperto. Guardi, il microfono è aperto. Lo deve aprire lei dal pulsantino che vede in basso, perché è chiuso da parte sua, non da parte mia. Vedo che lei ha la mano alzata e comprendo. Non so se vede l'icona. My apologies if I speak in Italian. We are just trying to fix a problem. Rosario Pavone says that he's not able to open his microphone on its own. So I don't know if you want to get out and try to get in again, or or I don't know if Dr. Rossettini wants to conclude the intervention.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. Well, I will just conclude stating that SME for Space is representing companies throughout Europe, specifically companies operating in the space industry. And the name of the association is, of course, focused on the small and medium enterprises. But let's say the focus of the association is expanding, and at the moment is the second largest association in Europe, representing the interest of the space industry sector. And again, as I mentioned before, this type of information is crucial at the European level, especially, and quoting what Mr. Saccoccia was saying before, it's very important to position Europe in a different way with respect to the past. Now we are not, so the market is not anymore only Europe. The competition is not anymore only within Europe. We need to be ready to compete at worldwide level. And if we join forces and we use the power and of the information that these associations can provide, definitely we can move way faster into reaching this objective. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Giving out to the audience. I will not add no more than that. So because we already said that the PowerPoint presentation will be made available to all participants. I don't know if you were just mentioning so the number of companies that IPAS have with a different positioning and expertise along the value chain of the space sector. So we will cover with our members all the value chain of space. And just 2 words regarding the SME for Space footprint in Europe, where the Latvian Space Industry Association is a full member, a working member of SME for Space. So we have this privileged channel to cooperate between our association, our members. And really a part of greeting and thank all the institutional and high-level guests and speakers, but also I have the pleasure to greet our friends from Latvian Space Industry Association that we know each other level. Pavel, also Paul, I see all them connection. The last thing I would like to mention is that SME for Space and me personally and through IPAS, we've also been participating in a very successful event that was organized by the Latvian space industry together with other high deep tech sectors. That was in April, Deep Tech Atelier, where we also have the opportunity to show what SME for Space can offer to help SMEs to be successful in the European space sector. So in the presentation, we will have our contacts, and I really invite you to get in contact with us. Thank you very much, and I'm sorry for this inconvenience with the technical issues. Thank you very much, and good continuation.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we will hear from the Association for Services, Applications, and ICT Technologies for Space. The president of ASAS, Silvano Cassini, please.
Thank you. First, I wish to thank the Excellencies Ambassador of Latvia in Rome and the Ambassador Italian in Latvia for having organized this webinar. It's a very, very important event for us as association and as a specific industry in the system. As president of this association, ASAS, I am representing 34 space companies, some of them being the Italian branch of large multinational corporations. As a result of this mix, we cover a large area of space up and downstreaming technologies. We are therefore interested in both small and large bilateral cooperations. And accordingly, I hope that this webinar could also trigger a profitable series of company-to-company direct contacts. We shall certainly pretty soon do our part in this exercise. Thank you for your attention. I'm trying to recover some time.
Thank you very much for that. So finally, we will hear from the president of the Latvian Space Industry Association, who, along with stimulating the cooperation of the Latvian space industry, also facilitate the successful integration of Latvia in the European Space Agency. So please, Mr. Pauls Irbiņš.
Yes, hello everyone, excellencies and dear colleagues. It's a great honor to be part of this webinar, and big thanks to everyone who organized it. Very briefly about our association, I hope you can see our webpage, and you are very welcome to visit it and learn more about the association. But we should say that we are very young in this sector. We've been established only in 2018, and at the moment we have 12 members, 6 of which are already quite experienced members, and other 6 are just newcomers to the space industry, but very active newcomers. And our association, we have mostly three goals that we are doing. We are representing our members on a political level. We are helping our members to be more efficient in this emerging space sector, and we are promoting our space industry at international events like International Astronautical Congress, Paris Space Week, or SMEs for Space, or different other activities. So we are very eager to learn more how our partner organizations, how they are working in other countries. I was fascinated how our partners in Italy are working, and we would be very eager to learn how they are working with the members, what additional benefits they are bringing to the members. And if any of you are interested in learning more about space sector in Latvia, you are very welcome to visit our homepage. You can see our members. You can click on individual members and see exactly what they are doing. And if you are looking for some new or specific business partners in Latvia, either these are some academic institutions or some scientists, you are welcome to contact us directly, and then we can find you companies who are maybe not a part of space sector currently, but who've been very active in participating in ESA projects, and you can see there are plenty of them. And we could be a doorway to Latvian industry. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward for some bilateral discussions, and thank you again for organizing this great event.
Thank you, and thank you for the very brief intervention. So now we will move to the section of the webinar where we focus on areas of bilateral cooperation. And the first session will be on satellite systems and their use for Earth observation. So I would like to welcome from the Italian side, from Thales Alenia Space, Giorgio Spada, who is the Director of Export Sales and Marketing. Please.
Your microphone is open on my side, but you have to unmute yourself, please. Your slides, but we cannot hear you because you have your microphone muted. Can you please? Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Blooms, and my regards to all esteemed guests. A few words about Thales Alenia Space. I will try to be short. I will do this going through a pictorial view to see our involvement in the different sectors and segments of space business. And going through the different altitudes, to give some examples. For instance, let's start from an orbit in around 400 kilometers. An example of space infrastructure. We had built, designed and built in our facility in Torino, 50% of the pressurized manned module for the International Space Station. Going up in the range of 700, around 700 kilometers, this is of course typical Earth observation orbit. Thales Alenia Space consolidated product line for both optical and radar satellite. And going up between 800 kilometers and 8,000 kilometers is a typical range for constellation, telecommunication and navigation. We have built, designed and developed all the telecommunication constellation currently deployed, Globalstar, Iridium, Iridium Next, and O3b. We have been involved in Galileo, we've been recently involved in we've been recently awarded a contract for 6 satellites of the new of the Galileo second generation, so navigation constellation. Then, of course, we go in geostationary orbit. We are leader in the world for telecommunication satellite, and we provided this to several customers. We will see a little bit of this up to solar system exploration. So, Thales Alenia Space is a joint venture between Thales and Leonardo. Together with Thales Alenia Space, we team up with Telespazio, and together with Telespazio, we offer a unique combination of expertise covering the entire value chain, from system to services. The entities which implement this cooperation is called Space Alliance. Thales Alenia Space at a glance, you see the sales in the order of 2 billion and going up. We have about 7,700 employees in 17 sites. Business breakdown is basically 41% is for telecom, 12 exploration, 18 navigation, 29 observation. In Italy, we have about 2,200 employees, all spread over 4 different sites in Torino, Roma, Milano, and L'Aquila. The rest of the more than 7,000 are spread over other 16 sites all over Europe and Seattle with the Leo Stella joint venture. Our customer range from Space Agency, of course, Italian Space Agency, but also European Space Agency and NASA. Commercial operators, I already mentioned that we have provided and designed and developed all the telecommunication constellation now in operation, from O3b, Iridium, Globalstar, and Iridium Next. And of course, institution and defense, our Ministry of Defense and the European Community, for instance. Earth observation. So I gave a very quick introduction of the company. Let's go a little bit more on the focus of this speech, which is concerning Earth observation. A wide range of applications are in fact addressed by TAS solution, from defense to security, which means change detection, border surveillance, target recognition, and identification mainly, to maritime surveillance, agricultural monitoring and environment, land management, risk management. So basically all the Earth observation applications are addressed by our solution. So nowadays, when we talk about observation, we often refer to a concept of operation based on correlated acquisition. And this is based on 3 aspects. First of all, the highly visit asset, typically constellation or microsat, so which provide systematic monitoring and change detection, early warning, and activation, very often activation of asset 2. The asset 2 is the high resolution asset, which allow recognition, identification, classification, and is frequently triggered by the highly visit system. The third asset is, of course, infrastructure, processing and analytics infrastructure, imagery, alerts, production of image intelligence, ingestion of data from other sensors, and so on. So basically today, a concept of operation based on these 3 main assets: high revisit, high resolution, and processing and analytic infrastructure. Thales Alenia Space has an outstanding experience in Earth observation system, of course. It's a worldwide key player for state-of-art observation solution for civilian and defense users. We are sole supplier of European defense optical and SAR system, Italy, France, Germany, and Poland. But we have also supplied advanced system for the international defense market, Morocco, United Arab Emirates, and South Korea. And in observation, we have a wide portfolio of products. And this is let's focus a little bit. We are talking about observation. Let's focus a bit on radar observation, for which, in particular, Thales Alenia Space Italia is a worldwide leader. I recall that together with Telespazio, we have developed the Cosmos Skymed and Cosmos second generation. So you see here in this chart our catalog, which goes from ultra high performance and wide swath and multi-mode radar, which we call HPR, high performance, through a lightweight but high efficiency, still high resolution satellite, which is HER 1000, to the what we call HRR, high revisit radar. In terms of mass, HPR is around 2 tons, HER 1000 is around 1 tons, and HRR is in the order of 200, 300 kilograms. HRR is designed, developed to be launched in constellation. So you see here also in our product line, not only a portfolio considered to respond and to accomplish the increasingly demanding market and the variety of the requests from the market, but also to accomplish what I was saying before, high resolution asset and high revisit asset, because today is this is the paradigm in terms of observation. Finally, and I will close with this, trying to make short, the last infrastructure, processing and analytics infrastructure, a multi-mission advanced ground segment, which is compatible with different sensors, which is this thing is crucial nowadays, cyber secure and cloud-based, compatible with big data and machine learning image intelligence tools, highly automated to be efficient to minimize the number of operators, a single archive and catalog, and system optimized to customized needs. So a multi-mission advanced ground segment as a third asset in Earth observation, high revisit, high resolution, and finally multi-mission advanced ground segment. The 3 assets which I mentioned before as today the approach to Earth observation and fulfilling customer need in this segment. I think this is all, and I try to be quick and not to use too much time.
Thank you very much for the very interesting and insightful presentation. So I will just remind the rest of the speakers that we're basically an hour behind schedule. So please, if you can, be brief. So next, I would like to welcome two participants. Pavels Dasmayevs, who is the Chief Operating Officer of BIRAC, which is a research institute holding a 32-meter fully steerable parabolic antenna. I would also like to welcome Alexei Sklokovs, who is the director of BIRAC and also BIRAC Tech Limited, and also leading research. Please.
So it's my turn right now, yeah? Actually, I'm CEO of Avantech. Hello, everybody. Let me share the screen, so I'll show you the presentation. Okay, can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, hello, my name is Paul Razmaev. I'm representing company Avantech. We are doing a time tagging technology for extremely accurate measurements. First of all, yeah, our name is Avantech. We are 10 experts. The company was founded in 2011 and in the space industry since 2016. Our core business is high precision signal processing systems. Which means we're building time-of-flight system, time tagging, timing, very precise photon counting as well. Our terrestrial applications right now are satellite laser ranging, gravimetry, optical reflectometry, time transfer, including T2L2, which means time transfer through laser link. On the right side, you can see our timers, which we are building already for more than 10 years. We are always upgrading and updating them, and it's our basically best seller. In the satellite laser ranging industry, we are leaders. We hold more than half of the market, selling our timers worldwide in the USA, Europe, Asia, Australia, and even Africa. In space, if we're talking about the space, we currently have 3 projects. One of them is finished, is the QTMB, where we develop a small size, low power consumption ASIC timer, which can fit in the CubeSats. Right now, we finished the paper study, so basically we are ready to produce a small batch of ASIC timers. Our second project is a spatialitis, which in which we developed a proof of concept of wind and imaging collider for space. Actually, the project was just finished a week ago. And the results are really great. It's showed a great interest to proceed further with this development. Also, we did a paper study of new concept of gyroscope with a very precise timer. And our third project is LSTM, where we are developing an altimetry system for PALT, which stands for Planetary Altimeter, which will be part of Hera mission, which will fly to asteroid very soon. Our space timer, which will be a part of the Hera mission, you can see on the left bottom on the screen. And the precision right now, which we received, is 10 picoseconds, but we are planning to increase it to around 5 to 6 picoseconds. The size right now is 15 by 13 centimeters, but also it will be improved. Our call to action is that we have our timing modules, and we have also great experience in LiDAR system, altimeter system, gyroscopes, also like gravimetry. We are ready to participate in various space missions and build a joint projects in LiDAR, altimetry, optical communication, including deep space optical communication, time transfer, gyroscopes, and quantum key distribution. So if you are interested in these fields, feel free to contact me. Yeah, thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, I hope that we'll have a chance to discuss it.
Okay, thank you. And now the director of BIRAC, Alexei Sklokovs, please.
Microphone is open on my side, but you have to open it yourself as well.
to everyone. I hope you can see and you can hear me. Okay, so my name is Alexis Klokovs. I'm the director of Ventspils International Radio Astronomy Center, and we are the part of Ventspils University of Applied Sciences located in Ventspils and Irbene. A few facts about our history. This radio antenna complex was founded on 1967 as a Soviet intelligence and communication center, and in 1994 we got from Latvian Academy of Science this infrastructure, and the VIRAC Center was established. Now we are participating in several networks, and since 2016 we are the part of European WLB network or EVN network, and also since 2019 we are the part of International Low Frequency Array telescope, and our main 4 pillars consists from research, education, infrastructure, and commercialization. So we are working also with technology transfer, and we are working with projects, research projects, infrastructure projects, and also we are working with studies, with special courses, and we have also special laboratories for prototyping, for testing, and so on. Our main research fields are astronomy and astrophysics, and also we are working on high-performance computing, we are working with remote sensing, and we are working with satellite technologies and electronics. Our main infrastructure consists from 2 fully operated parabolic antennas, 32 meters and 16 meters in diameter. In 2019, the new telescope for low frequencies was established, and we are operating also these. And of course, we have laboratories in Ventspils University of Applied Sciences. Few parameters for our Cassegrain type antennas. We have working frequency ranges for a bigger antenna until 22 gigahertz, and for smaller antenna we have until 40 gigahertz. And also we are participating, as I told before, in International Low-Earth Telescope, and together we have 14 countries. Italy as well, and as I know, Italy now establishing the 2nd station, and we are collaborating through these networks. Also, we are participating in EVN network, and we are full member since 2016, and we have also experience in Horizon projects. Some possible astronomical targets and processes for our research. So we are working with near Earth objects. We could work with space weather, and we are doing also astrochemistry researches, observations of galactic mothers, and also studies for sun physics and others. As we are implementing several projects, so we are working with ESA, and now we are implementing the ESA project together with our partners from Swedish Space Corporation for a ground segment, and the main goal to establish a ground station for both directions, for fundamental researchers and also for space missions. And we have also experience with satellites. The first Latvian satellite was successfully launched in 2017. And we are open also for new projects with Italian partners. And also we are offering such expertise and services for special courses in space communication and electronics, satellite secure communication, radio jamming, systems engineering, space debris and neo radar observation, signal processing, remote sensing solutions, and so on. So thank you, and my contacts are here.
Thank you very much, and thank you for keeping in the time. So the next session will be on information services and control of the pandemic situation. So I would like to begin by asking the participants from Italy. So E-Geos, which is a leading international player in Earth observation and geospatial information. The head of Big Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence Competence Center, Domenico Grandoni, please.
Grandoni, you have to unmute yourself. Please click on the microphone icon at the bottom of your computer and switch on the microphone, please. I see you are connected, but your microphone seems to be switched off. So at the bottom of the page, you can see the icon. Yeah, we can see you, but not yet. I can see you at least, but I cannot hear you yet. Let me see. No, it's not disabled by me. Let's try again. No, it's not activated. On my side is on, so try again to unmute yourself, please. Okay,
If it doesn't work, maybe then the Latvian participants can speak, and then we can give the floor later, and hopefully the sound issues will be fixed by then. So then I will ask from the Baltic Satellite Service, Ilze Barga, to take the floor, please.
Thank you. Just share my screen. Okay, do you see my screen? Okay, thank you very much. It's very interesting to take part in this event. And yeah, I'm Ilze Barga. I'll introduce our company, Baltic Satellite Service. So we have 15 years experience in building different GIS systems, in working with spatial data, and in automation of different manual processes for our customers. Afterwards, we are 5 years focusing already on satellite imagery, processing and delivery-driven data to our end users. We already own and have developed our own geospatial infrastructure to provide our services to many different customers so that they, in a convenient way, can access these data and these data services. And our new development is new forest monitoring application where we can offer to forest owners daily monitoring of their forest properties and surrounding areas. So the application link is also available. That's a demo version, but then you can see the application and just play around with it. We have so already in a production use optical base map service and clear-cut monitoring service. And we have 6 more developments going on, which are now in validation stage. And that's timber volume estimation, forest fire risk estimation and forest fire monitoring, then wind risk and windfall monitoring, and near real-time flood monitoring. These technologies will be, again, as soon as they're ready for production, they'll be added to the Forest Radar monitoring services. So the technology works fully automatically. Basically, we use Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2 data, so both optical and radar satellite data. And the service is supported by machine learning algorithms to cover large areas of interest. And there are some links. Okay, we already have implemented this technology in different other systems and other GIS and IT systems of our partners and customers. This is an interesting project for us. It's a Eurostar project where we provide these services that we have, like base map service with metadata, also the forest mask, where we provide the new information of forest, if there is a forest, if there is no forest, which is very important for the firefighters and for the system, which can early detect wildfires and also monitor the change. And we integrate all these teams together in one system and provide to end user, to firefighters, also these EFIS services in a very convenient way, so that we can improve end user access. Regarding cooperation, so we think that GIS and also Earth observation technologies are a very big area, and there is possible to find very interesting and different points of cooperation. And we have this experience that spatial data, Earth observation data, different other statistical data can help really to governments in decision making, in planning, and in speaking with community. And in analyzing this data, you can really get to new relationships, new patterns, and provide very nice looking maps understandable to everybody. And in more particularly, so we would be interested in cooperating in development of ML models. We already have some developed on particular data sets, and so we would be interested to go ahead and do it for other data sources. Then web application development, which is tailored to the business needs of the end users, and data processing. Also, we could support some projects or interested parties which cloud-free satellite imagery base map, which we already scale up to all European countries, and validation, testing, and even involvement of the end users, which can test the developed models and algorithms, etc. So thank you very much for your attention. That's all for me.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to welcome the leading researcher in the Institute of Environmental Solutions, Dainis Jakubels, please.
Hello. I hope you hear me. Okay. Now I will share my screen. Okay. And I hope you see my presentation, yes. I represent Institute for Environmental Solutions in Latvia, and we are a privately established research and innovation institution, and we combine different specialists both like in these thematic areas which requires like ground knowledge, like ecology, limnology, forestry, and agriculture, as well as expertise in Earth observation, remote sensing, and then technologies. And our key focus areas are data-based environmental solutions and also Earth observation and remote sensing. But what is our difference from other institutions? I would say that one that we are privately established means we have good connection with different companies, also the ones which were our funders, working in agricultural field and also forestry field. We're doing a lot of different research with them. And if we're looking at our size, we are maybe not very large institution company, but we are quite international one. We also have two Italians in our team. Both are experts in agronomy. And our institute was established in 2008. We are located in an airfield near city Ceļā, as you can see here in the image. And the airfield is surrounded with experimental fields which are operated together with one private company specializing in production of aromatic and medical plants, as well in organic farming. And we are not working only with satellite data, but with different levels of remote sensing, also with airborne platforms like planes and drones. We have quite a lot of different sensors in our arsenal. And yes, of course, on the other hand, we have both laboratories and experimental fields for different tests. If looking at our activities related to satellite data, there have been more than 2 projects, but I would like to highlight 2 of them. One is related to lake water monitoring, where we have developed automated approach how to get from satellite data, from optical satellite data to lake water quality assessment, basically chlorophyll concentration assessment. And currently we have agreement with the National Monitoring Agency, which is responsible for lake national monitoring of lake water quality, that we will proceed with this approach and try to develop a service which will be integrated into a national monitoring system. Besides looking at public agencies, we are trying also to collaborate with other end users. And there is another case study where we are looking at rice in Vietnam. And in this case, our end user is certification company, which is called Preferred by Nature. Basically, they are interested in sustainable certification of rice from perspective of sustainable management. And in this case, satellite data could be useful to understand what management practice is used for rice growing. And we are planning to develop automated approach for separation of standard rice management practice from AVD. And it also showed that we are not working only in Latvia, but also collaborating with international partners like this company Preferred by Nature. And if to sum up some keywords which characterize our institution, the first one is we're a multidisciplinary team, as I already showed, combining both expertise in this ground segment and also technologies and Earth observation. We practice quick prototyping and using innovative solutions. Basically, we try to use different innovative approaches in such conservative fields like agriculture as well as forestry. And in all cases, we are trying to look at user centered approaches. Basically, we have quite good end user network here in Latvia, and not only in Latvia. And therefore, if you saw something interesting in our profile for further collaboration, yes, we are open for collaboration, and here are my contacts. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. So is Domenico Grandoni, can you hear me? Yes, it works now. Excellent.
Okay, good, sure. So thanks, Mr. Blooms, for your introduction, and thanks to their excellencies, ambassadors Stefano Tagliani De Marchio and Solvita Albotina for kindly inviting us to participate to this webinar. I hope you can see my presentation as well right now. Can you please confirm?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, excellent. So I will spend just 30 seconds on the introduction of E-Geos, which is the company I work for, that is a joint venture between the Italian Space Agency and Telespazio. Its main focus is geo information, application and services, and it is the largest Italian company in this sector and a global leader, exclusive distributor globally of data from Italian constellation Cosmos SkyMed and Cosmos second generation. And I am particularly glad to give this speech after Latvian colleagues, because I was very glad to learn about activities in space, in remote sensing and geoinformation in Latvia, and I have found a lot of very interesting topics. Now I will move into a very specific use case, that is how at E-Geos we have been developing a project in the framework of the European Space Agency RACE activity, that is the rapid response, rapid action for coronavirus outbreak, in terms of assessing which was the impact of COVID-19 in activities in ports and logistics centers. So actually we challenged ourselves to put together our strong expertise in geoinformation and location intelligence to understand what was happening and which were the consequences of COVID-19 outbreak in these peculiar areas. Therefore, actually, we put together our expertise in analyzing optical and SAR data, and we combine them with kind of, at least novel for us, sources of data, like data from mobile phones, from road traffic, to have a complete picture of the phenomenon. Therefore, we put together a solution that is fusing this kind of data and that is providing innovative indicators of activity. So the objective was to develop a prototype, to test it, and to see if the model works. Since at the beginning of the activity, we didn't have any clue. Well, there was an intuition that some correlation could be found, but no security at all. Therefore, actually, these are the data that we analyzed together. So maritime traffic, AIS, which is providing a part of the view on, for instance, how marine traffic has evolved in 2019, that is this curve, and 2020. And actually, in the periods with the strongest closures, there is a significant lowering of the activity in terms of marine traffic. And we can also see these curves that are comparing in the same period, so from February to June 2019 and from February to May 2020, how there was a drastic decrease in terms of marine traffic in the port of Genova. But this is the same that we can see also in monitoring some key roads of access to the port, because actually we had an holistic approach and we asked ourselves what's going on in these areas. The port is actually the boundary between sea and land, therefore goods are coming and goods are being transferred to logistics centers and vice versa. And we see the same trends from this point of view. But also we used satellite data, that is our comfort zone, to assess port activities, like for instance oil tanks, how for instance crude oil is being stored in them, and we can see this from satellite, no secret about it, but also about the activity in some specific areas of the port, like for instance the movement of containers. as well as the presences in different days of the week of cars in large parking lots. Most interesting is also the use of new data coming from space, because thanks to the European Space Agency Sentinel program, we now have, beyond radar and optical satellites, we have also satellites that are providing information about atmospheric pollution, so like Sentinel 5P, which has allowed us to see how air quality and air pollution has been changing in an important port area in Italy, which is Taranto, giving an objective measurement, an objective evidences of this kind of phenomena. Because it is kind of easy to have some feelings about what's happening. It is totally different to have measurement. And this is where actually satellites, drones are coming to provide the strong and measurable evidences. We put a dashboard, since it is important to have a platform to generate contents and information, but it is even more important to have the ways to communicate and to make this information be used by our end users, and so to synthesize and to distill a lot of data into small but meaningful information. Okay, that's all. I hope that I am on time. Here you can see our contacts, our website. Please have a look at it. And if you have any question, any possible cooperation, of course, we are active both on procurement, but also on large research programs like H2020, Horizon Europe. So I am at your disposal. Thanks a lot, and I wish you very fruitful prosecution of the webinar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So now we move on to our next session, which will focus on new satellite sensors, EEE components, and their potential applications. I would first like to welcome Giovanni Fugetta, Vice President of Optronics and Space at Leonardo, which is a global solutions provider delivering cutting-edge and dual-use technologies for both military and civil applications. Please.
Yes, good morning to everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. I will try to share my presentation. Hold on one moment. You can see it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Very good. Hold on. This is working. Yes. So, presentation is there.
Perhaps the previous one should be turned off, and then maybe.
Actually.
You can see?
I see your screen, not yet your presentation. So go on your presentation, please.
Yes, here we are.
Yes, it works now.
Yes.
Okay, so I will make my presentation around the Prisma instrument. Prisma is an hyperspectral sensor and mission under the authority of the Italian Space Agency. So my particular regards to President Giorgio Saccoccia. Thank you for the data that you allow us to use. So Leonardo is indeed a big player in the aerospace and security industry in Italy. We are about 40,000 people, and our turnover is in the order of 14 billion per year. And we are, as stakeholders, inside Thales Alenia Space and Telespazio. So, on top of this participation to the Space Alliance, Leonardo has his own space activity inside the electronic division. I am the responsible of the space equipment business area. So I will try to explain you what we did in space. This is a very nice picture in which you see the solar system in a pictorial view, and the dots are the mission on which there are equipment developed by Leonardo. You can see that we have participation from Bepi Colombo mission to Mercury, to Venus, to Mars, to Jupiter. So in the next future, we will have next year the launch of the Jewish mission of ESA, on which we provide several instruments and the solar panel. And not to forget that in 2022, we will have also the ExoMars mission. And on ExoMars, we have provided the driller, so we will perform some drill over the surface of Mars in order to check for the presence of trace of life. The same type of technology will be used also to explore the moon in the forthcoming Artemis mission. So Leonardo is providing a robotic solution for exploration and science in the exploration of the solar system. On top of that, Leonardo is of course involved in several missions around the Earth. You can see all the observation mission, Earth observation mission that we are on board, starting from the first Earth-1, Earth-2 that was in 1990. And more recently, we are part of the most important Copernicus mission on Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, and we are looking forward to the launch of Meteosat third generation, on which we will deliver the lighting imager, that is an instrument devoted to the lighting and the storm investigation. So coming back to our Prisma. Prisma is an hyperspectral instrument. What does it mean? Hyperspectral means that we are not only looking to an object to define dimension and shape, but we are looking to the nature of what we are observing, because from the observation we are able to retract the different spectrum of material that of the material that are reflecting, that are scattering the light of the sun. So by the what we call the spectral cube, we can evaluate exactly what we are looking for from space. So each pixel of the surface of subject of the observation can be investigated in terms of composition and natural content. This is in a very simple way a presentation of the instrument. So we have the geometric of the observation and how the instrument works. So the light is entering inside the instrument. There is a dispensing element, and then the spread of the different wavelengths that are then collected by the sensor. This is the way that the instrument is working and is capable to provide the image. This is again, it's a little bit technical, this chart. So of course my technical experts are available to support the understanding of these characteristics, but this is the shape, is the spectrum of what we are observing. So by the analysis of this spectrum, we can evaluate what we are looking for and the characteristic of these elements. As the colleague that has presented before me anticipate the assessment of the rise culture, the same can be done here, because by the analysis of this characteristic, we can evaluate the level of the growing factor of the surface. In terms of heritage, Leonardo has developed this kind of experience in the spectral instruments starting from 1990 onwards. So we have several instruments used for the exploration of the solar system. We had some precursor of the Prisma itself that was used for Earth observation, and then finally we have also a branch of instrument that was for airborne application. All this brings to Prisma, that is an instrument in operation today, as I said before, thanks to the Italian Space Agency, and in the future we will have the second generation that will give continuity and operational continuity to the observation performed with Prisma. Here are the application of the Prisma. So environmental change, impact of human activities.
we're quite running low on time, so maybe in 1 or 2 minutes, if you could finish up. Sorry.
Yes, I will try to go directly. So these are technical details concerning the performance of the instrument and the composition of the instrument. So I can skip. What I would like to present, maybe to the attention of the colleague, is that we, thanks to ASI, we have performed some acquisition with Prisma over the Riga region, and we have retracted some images that are this one, in which we present some analysis concerning the presence of minerals and in particular iron, and then the status of the vegetation around the city of Riga. Here, there is the description of the different index. Of course, this is a matter of expert to understand exactly the specific indicator in terms of scientific results. So left after nitrogen content, lift area index are parameters used in order to monitor and to detect the different situation concerning the agriculture, the health forecasting, the precise agriculture, the forest management. So maybe the colleague that has presented before me, they are more interested in this specific kind of application of Prisma. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention. Of course, we are available to enter in deeper discussion, and I will forward the presentation and that the colleague more interested can have a direct retrieve of this information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and sorry for having to cut the presentation short a little bit. So next, I would like to welcome Lev Laptis from RD Alpha Microelectronics, please.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope to be brief, but focused on the topic. So let me start with our presentation. Company is RD Alpha Microelectronics. We are manufacturing semiconductors since 1962. So yes, we are located, as it is logical, in Riga, Latvia. We are pioneers in electronic technology. Our experience and expertise is in the field of analog and analog to digital technology, including bipolar, BiFET, complementary bipolar, CMOS, and BiCMOS. So we are around of 63 people with a turnover more than €1 million. So I have added this slide about RD Alpha and Italian cooperation. Our European sales representative is an Italian company, Dymacred, and so we are participating together with them in many of exhibitions. Like here you can see the biggest electronic exhibition in Europe, Electronica, that happens every twice a year in Munich. It's a photo of my colleagues and me together with Dymacred. So we are already working together with Italy, and we are open to work more fruitful. And if partners have interest in cooperation with us, they can contact or directly me, or also contact the Italian company Dymacred, and they will help to find more about us. So our advantages, as I've mentioned, we have more than 50 years of expertise in microelectronics industry. So we are ISO 9001 certified company, experienced and highly skilled staff, complete assembly, full production cycle, and continuous control of microswitch quality. We have unique layout of integrated circuits that are registered. We have unique technology for the production, fast design and manufacturing of microcircuits according to the customer specifications. We are also founders of Latvian Space Industry Station. My colleague Paul also presented it to you. Product summary, what do we produce? We produce many types of integrated, mainly analog integrated circuits. It's operational amplifier, comparators, switches and multiplexers, differential pairs, microswitches for data acquisition system, and our new product, military standard 1553 transceiver, and we hope to become a unique, like there's only one European source of supply for those transceivers. We have a little bit about our technology. We have access to two foundries, CMOS and bipolar process, with a CMOS 2 micron and bipolar 3 micron. It's rather obsolete process, but very good for the purpose of radiation hardened. And the second one, what we are using, it is CMOS 0.6 micrometer process with silicon on insulator. It's a more modern process with also good radiation hardened stability. We produce integrated circuits in different variations of metal and glass to metal and metal ceramic, and also pure ceramic packages. We mainly not produce integrated circuits in a plastic, because we are working in a high reliability market where the plastic is not widely used, and we don't have such possibility, but we have our subcontractors that could have, if there will be big demand on this chip, we could assemble it also in a plastic package. It's a short illustration of our standard process flow. We start with wafer, we do electrical test, we do saw and break, die acceptance, die attach, wire bonding, sealing, marking, and all needed processes for the quality assurance, for the screening and the qualification. More than 80% of operations needed by the ECC standard can be done in our laboratories. Collaboration with European Space Agency started in 2016, when we have performed the first research identification project. So we have identified several integrated circuits from our portfolio that could be modified for the European Space Agency needs. In December 2016, we have started development of quad operational amplifier, Alpha D124. In June 2019, we have started the development of quad comparator, Alpha D139. In August 2019, we have started the project that currently is running. Our previous projects are successfully finished. Qualification of operational amplifier that was studied before. And so here it is a slide from the PEX briefing that's showing that we've started with a preparatory activity, feasibility study, then we've performed research and development activity, and right now we are in the flight segment related activities with the qualification of the part. And when this part will be qualified, it can be procured by any European company and put into the some payload without any need for the qualification by themselves. So already right now it's possible to buy our parts, but there will be like qualification will be need to be run by companies producing the payloads. So it's some our success story. We are comparing TAD, like radiation test result of quad operational amplifier with UC equivalent, and we have went with a TAD test up to 450 K rads, and it was stable without any, it was in the specs, but USA equivalent, so already at 140 K rads is out of the spec. So it is we've proven that our part can be used for longer missions. But of course, so this part mainly is used on lower low orbit missions, where the 50 maybe K rads, not more, but for longer missions, it will be better to use our part that is 450 K rads. Also, maybe some Earth applications like nuclear reactors and some more applications where they have a really big radiation dose. So the latest test reports available to you upon the request, performed by TRAD or Tyndall or Altair Technology and many other independent laboratories. and upon request, we are able to supply them to you. It's a short factory tour, and we welcome everyone when the pandemic finished to visit our factory in Riga, and I will show you everything by ourselves. It's my contacts. Please contact me if you have any interest, or the microgrid company that's based in Italy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now I will give the floor to Eleanor Pool, the Chief Operating Officer of SMW Group. Please.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Let me just share my screen. So, can you hear? Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Right. So I represent SMW Group. For over 20 years, we are focusing on advanced materials and technologies for lightweight applications. Our main specialty is magnesium, but we work also with other alloys such as aluminum, titanium, and even others such as. This slide shows some some examples of our research and development projects. Mostly we focus again on constant development of new magnesium alloys, alloying, combination of magnesium with other materials such as aluminum and plastic. One of projects technologies which we have successfully developed and now are implementing into production of powders and wires is production of almascan alloy. And ongoing projects are such as electromagnetic shielding absorption material, we call it M-block, upscaling of industrial processes, mostly for magnesium in Horizon 2020. And also we are now developing cost-efficient self-healing magnesium coating process and magnesium 3D wire cladding machine. One of the projects which I would like to emphasize here today is development of lighter antenna box. So the idea encompasses production of magnesium antenna box instead of aluminum, for example, while also possessing high electroconductive properties which are achieved with a special coating process. And we've calculated and also simulated that each antenna box could be, weight of each antenna box could be reduced by 30% in such a case. This slide represents some of our capabilities, mostly in magnesium. So we work with various alloys, so we can develop also special alloys in a way of alloying if some special requests or properties are being requested. And last year we've also achieved a very low thickness sheets, so I can confirm that we can produce 0.4 millimeter thickness sheets, which are more than 1,000 millimeters or 1 meter height. And we are still ongoing to make such thin sheets even bigger in size. This just represents also our proprietary forging process, which allows us to cut production costs and also ultimate machining costs, because every shape due to a specific die is very close to the ultimate machine shape necessary for a particular product. And here you can see a brief introduction on our almascan alloy. As mentioned, we are now producing both wire and powder in almascan, and this was initially intended for automotive purposes, but now it's being requested for aerospace participants. We've supplied this year first of our trials, and they were successfully confirmed, and also for military purposes. Additive manufacturing or 3D printing are also one of the topics which we really like, and we've developed our own proprietary equipment which also allows to cut costs, so we're very competitive, and we can work with many alloys and also combining the special properties and simulations engineering we are able to achieve very low wall thicknesses for 3D printed components if the parts are not highly loaded. Already a little bit mentioned, but we are now in the process of also developing our own machine, which will allow us to 3D print magnesium components. We hope that the first prototype will be ready already by the end of this year. And here are just some examples of all the parts. And a brief slide of our customers. I was very short. I hope this was useful. Thank you for your attention. Here you can see also my email.
Thank you very much. So our next session will be on space thermal systems and components. And I would like to first welcome Pierluigi Perugini, the head of mechanical and solid propulsion systems at E-Geos. Please.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Do you see my screen, my presentation?
Yes, it's there.
Okay. So, okay, just an introduction of our activities. So, Avio play a fundamental role on the European space access. Today, the European fleet is based on Vega in Ariane 5. Vega is a launcher that was developed by Avio and is under our responsibility. And for the Ariane 5, we are the supplier of the solid rocket motors. For the next year, is foreseen the maiden flight of the evolution of Vega, the Vega C, that will fly on 2022 and increase the performance of the launchers. And on the late part of the years is foreseen also the flight of Ariane 6 system, in which the first stage is a common block by using the solid rocket motor P120C that is developed by Avio. For the medium period, we are developing also the upper stage liquid motors, and this motor will be fly on 2025 by the new evolution of Vega E, and increasing the capability in terms of payload and also the flexibility of the systems. Focusing the attention on the thermal protection system, it's clear that on the launcher we have several applications of thermal protection systems due to the fact that the thermal environment is very aggressive, both for the presence of the aerothermal fluxes during the ascending phase, and due to the presence of the motors that under its combustion and on the nozzle exhibit very high fluxes. Generally, we have application of the combustion chamber in order to prevent the composite case from the heat flux generated during the combustion. On the nozzle, in which we have very high fluxes, and we have to assure the geometrical stability of the profile in order to maintain and demonstrate the performance of the motors. We have another application on the external part of the launcher to prevent the structures from the aerothermal loads during the ascending phase, and also on the upper stage for the avionic and fluidic part that should be isolated with respect to the environment of the nozzle or the exposure to the sun during the orbital phase. With respect to the insulation thermal protection, we have a fully integrated process, fully patented integrated process by using patented materials by Avio, both for what concern the thermal protection, then the carbon epoxy. So we have a fully integrated process that starts with the winding of our thermal protection that is EPDM based, so is a sort of rubbers. And then there is the vulcanization and the machining of this component, and then the winding of the carbon epoxy that is also Avio proprietary, and the final curing of the composite in order to obtain the case. So the main importance in this application is to guarantee an adequate mechanical interface, mechanical interface between the case, the composite case, and the propellant grain. There is also another important function that is to perform a sort of barrier with respect to the gas leakage during the combustion time. In the year, we develop several kind of this material in several applications. Another important aspect is the application on the nozzle field. In this component, we have a very high fluxes, heat fluxes. We talk about 10 megawatt square meters. And in order to prevent the structures from these very important fluxes and also from the particles impingement and the shear stress coming from the particles under the combustion phase, we need to use rigid thermal protection, generally based on carbon-carbon from the most critical area as the throat of the nozzle, or carbon phenolics. And it's clear that during this the function of these materials is a function in the field of the thermoablative materials. So many thermal energy is spent in order to guarantee the decomposition of the materials, in order to isolate the structural part from the aggressive environment. Another application was on the external thermal application. In this case, we need.
Sorry for interrupting. Could you maybe finish up in 1 or 2 minutes? Thank you.
Okay. Taking into account that we have a very large surface, we need to reduce as much as possible the weight. So we apply very light materials like based on silicon or cork materials, and the environment is lower in terms of flux with respect to the other mentioned before. And the component have to assure also the continuity in terms of electrical and thermal continuity. At the last, we have also another application that is based on multi-layer insulation materials, mainly for what concern the avionic and the fluidic components that should be isolated with respect to the aggressive environment coming from the nozzle or from the exposure during the orbital mission to the sun. So generally this material, the principle is different from the thermal ablative material. We make use of different layer with different capability, and we make use of the thermo-optical properties of the layer in order to reflect as much as possible the radiative flux induced by the exposure. So here you can see my reference. For any question, any collaboration, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and once again, sorry for having to cut it short a little bit. So next, I would like to welcome Donatas Miškins, the Chief Technology Officer and founder at Alatherm. Please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It is really a pleasure to participate in this event, and I'm going to share screen. Okay, and to do my presentation. Okay. Okay, let's. Do you see my screen? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Alaterm here is a small company. I think we are still startup, even we are founded 5 years ago. And I'm going to present our activities and with special focus on our space activities. So we are founded in 2015. It is a private company and with two owners, 50-50, myself and my partner, Igor Ushakovs, with whom we studied 25 years ago in Latvian State University, physics. And we decided to start this company with values, respect for people, fair play, inspiration, innovation, and sense of humor. Because it is research and development, without the humor, there are no sense to survive. Our vision being the best in thermal management and the mission to lower the entropy. So today we are 14 people, based in Riga, not far from the center, close to Riga Technical University. With Technical University we have quite good relations because we are in Latvian Technological Park, Pulka Yellow, Pulka Street, and I would like to say we have together with Riga Technical University course spacecraft thermal management, and maybe it also can be interesting for Italian students. And this course will start it from September. So this is our company, 14 people. And what we have? We have 420 square meter industrial facilities, including 160 meters of workshop, same area of the clean room, and 100 square meter of office. We are fully equipped with full cycle design, development, manufacture, and testing of complex two-phase thermal management system. First of all, it is super thermal conductive devices such as heat loops and heat pipes. So I would like to say we have the CNC machining, lattice. Also we have welding, including orbital, automatic TIG. And now we are on the way of the full qualification of such equipment for space applications. We have vacuum chambers where we are testing our devices. And as I mentioned, we have everything for production of capillary system, because the capillary system is the pump for the heat pipe or heat loop. So this is the photo of our workshop. You see several stands under production. We are also producing the stands for testing of the equipment. And okay, let's go forward.
Excuse me for interrupting, but if you are assuming that we are seeing the slides, we don't see them, just to let you know.
Sorry, okay.
No worries.
Because I just asked, just a second, I will try, because I'm...
Perhaps maybe just finish without the slides, because we're quite short on time now. We're about an hour behind. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, because I'm trying to put the share, but it is not opening. Okay. I will try again. I will. It is not opening the screen. Something is not working. Okay. Without the slides, I think I will share this one quickly. Actually, Alaterm has a good relation with Italy. And right now, today, we're delivering hardware to Thales Italy. And this is the project what we have in frame of work with ESA. And this is multi-evaporator cold plate. And I think this is one of the key technologies which is currently considered by Thales Italy for future pressurized systems and spacecraft for thermal control. And what is special about us, because we have the patent which allows us to build such advanced thermal control systems quickly and quickly qualify such systems, because this is European patent, and especially about multi-evaporator systems. So by qualifying only one system, we can later to transfer this qualification for much more advanced systems. In general, the company can provide design and analysis, research and development, consulting, and expert reviews. Also, we are doing prototyping and, of course, testing and qualification, all in the field of thermal management. And today we have two specializations. One is, yes, as I told you, it is superconductors of heat, which are used for thermal control of from microelectronics, it's for chips, to power electronics. And the second one is gas thermal compression. And the second one is also connected with first, because everything is about two-phase heat transfer and capillary systems. So we already delivered a lot of hardware, including for all around the world.
Sorry for interrupting again. Maybe finish up quickly. Thank you.
Yes, I'm finishing. Actually, it's just a little bit confusing with this, what you don't see the slides, but including many prototypes for different space applications. So I think that's all what I would like to say. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. And now we move to our final session on the importance of the space situational awareness. And I would like to begin by welcoming Andrea Bellini from Telespazio. The floor is yours.
Okay, I hope you can hear me. Thank you very much for this invitation, for this opportunity to face institutions, excellencies, and of course also the distinguished colleagues from the Latvian industries. I will try to sketch the phenomena. Space situation awareness is quite complicated, but now we just have a flavor of what is this subject. Very important for us operating in the space environment. Okay, so we can start with slides. We can start with the next one, please. Okay. Just two words on Telespazio. Telespazio, it was already mentioned before, is a joint venture between Leonardo and Thales. 60 years that we operate. Actually, this year is our birthday. We're also part of the Space Alliance, as was mentioned before by the Thales Alenia Space colleague. We are about 3,000 employees with about 600 million euro revenues. We are based, you see here in the geographical footprint, we are based in Italy in terms of headquarters, but then we have subsidiaries all around Europe and in South America. In terms of business overview, we have three main areas of activities: satellite telecommunication, geoinformation, satellite systems and operations, which groups all the activities that we do with the applications, operations of satellite, but also in realizing the ground infrastructure that will be eventually used to provide these services. That's why we are so interested in space situational awareness, because we are a service company operating in space. Let's see a few words about space situational awareness, just to size this phenomena. The space, we say it's becoming congested, contested, and competed. So a lot of satellites, a lot of debris in the orbit. So it's really a new domain. In fact, now we're talking about space domain awareness, besides the traditional one, land, marine, and air. About 5,000 satellites last year, and the number of satellites in orbit, that number of satellites will increase because of the constellation, because of new programs. And now there are about 25,000 debris which are monitored, but these are much more. More than 100 million, bigger than 1 millimeter, and about 1 million between 1 and 10 centimeter. This means that there is a huge demand of data. We need good data, high quality data. We need advanced analytics, because we have to make calculations, to compute trajectories and so on. And we need standards, regulatory standards, which need to be consolidated to allow to reach this trend that you see on the right part of the slide, which is the estimates 1 billion euro in 2027. Let's see the pillars of our activities, which we do in the space situational awareness. three main pillars: space weather, space traffic management, and space intelligence. I don't go through all the arguments because of time constraints, but let's see how some takeaway messages that we can get out of this meeting we are having together. So also some cooperation hints for the Latvian partners. In the space weather area, we're working with ESA. We have worked in the navigation area, and we have a number of activities done with developing algorithms. And but by the way, ESA is a major customer for this kind of activity. In space traffic management, we are doing some activities to control the space assets also of our institutions, namely the Cosmos Skymed. It was mentioned before, it's a dual constellation, and we are performing in-orbit control activities in the frame of Cosmos Skymed, so collision avoidance. We are doing also this kind of activities for the French Ministry of Defense. We are collaborating with the Italian Space Surveillance and Tracking Operation Center, doing different kind of support, namely ISOC, it's called ISOC. And then we are working in a European Union environment in Horizon, in Horizon 2020. Also, of course, space intelligence is very important because it's a subject which is interested by our militaries. And here I would like to spend maybe a couple of words on the North Star initiative. Here you see it only mentioned. It's a constellation of new satellites, 40 satellites, which will be in orbit in a short time, and that will provide observation from the space. So not only observing the satellites, debris, and the situation, the space situation awareness from the ground, but also from space. So there will be a number of satellites which will carry on specific sensors to observe space from space. So in all these three pillars, we can find cooperation opportunities. Now, then I leave it to the further context we will have to further exploit and elaborate on this. North Star, last slide on North Star. I mentioned North Star, and it's a stage program. It will be now implemented in incremental steps. Now the first constellation is under preparation, and we have a double role. We have a commercial role because we will be distributing the data on a certain agreements, commercial agreement, but we are also industrial partners, because we are realizing parts of the infrastructure, ground infrastructure, and parts of the operations for these satellites. I think the time it's limited, so thank you very much for the opportunity. I leave the floor. I leave here my coordinates, and I leave you back the floor to the moderator. Thank you very much.
Very much. So next, I would like to welcome the from Mission Tech Limited, Artyom Axelrod. The floor is yours.
Everyone, it's first of all, thank you very much for such an opportunity. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I'm going to quickly share my screen. Please let me know if you see my presentation. I'd like to get some feedback on that. Yes?
Yes.
Perfect. So first of all, thanks a lot again. And as a Latvian space tech company, I'm going to talk about the space weather as a fundamental segment of space situational awareness. I might be a little bit repetitive of what just Andrea from Thales said, but to start with, I'd like to talk a little bit on space situational awareness. Well, it revolves around monitoring and understanding the near-Earth environment, encompassing existing predictive knowledge regarding natural and man-made objects within the Earth orbit. And there are three segments: space weather services, near-Earth object detection services, as well as space surveillance and tracking services. And the overall market in terms of space situational awareness is the following. Well, the global market size is estimated to be $1.2 billion, and it is estimated to reach $1.6 billion by 2027. And its space situational program is actually ESA's project that started in 2009, and it enables Europe to autonomously detect, predict, and assess the risk of life and property due to remnant man-made object ranges, effects of space weather phenomena, space ground-based infrastructure, and orbit collision, as well as potential impacts of near-Earth objects. So in mission space, we believe that humanity is on the way to Mars, and space industry is projected to reach 1.4 trillion by 2030, as well as there is expected increase by 5 to 10 times in the number of launches of carrier rockets, projects of medical installations, and spaceports. So if we want to succeed in space exploration, space weather is one of the key factors to consider. And basically, what is space weather? Well, first of all, it refers to some conditions of the sun. It ranks among the highest priority natural hazards, and it affects critical technologies and causes disruptions both in space and on the ground. And there are 3 types of events that cause those disruptions. Those are geomagnetic storms, solar radiation storms, as well as radio blackouts. So these are the industries that are exposed by space weather. There are satellite operators, there might be some satellite failure or orbital drugs, as well as astronauts are exposed to extreme radiation levels. Aviation industry is also affected by space weather, while passengers and crew can be exposed to radiation as well. There might be loss of high frequency communications. Overall supply chain might be affected due to loss of GNSS services, overall disruption to transport, emergency, and hospital services. Power grids is another industry that is affected. There might be power blackouts, as well as rocket launchers. We believe that in the future, space weather is going to be playing a crucial role, because we believe that rocket launches, the amount of launches is going to be higher and higher. So at Mission Space, what we do, we develop a global predictive space weather system. We develop both the hardware and the software. We have our own satellites developed, our custom payload, as well as our software. We have our first satellite ready to launch. It will be launched in February 2022. And within 3 years, we plan to have a system of 24 nanosatellites on low Earth orbit with those detectors on board. And our system is designed to be used as a decision support tool to detect, predict, and warn about space weather events for an affected industry. And it will give us real-time high-energy particle geophysics data, as well as a real-time prediction of solar plasma arrival and intensity. We know that Italy has been involved many times in space weather observation campaigns. I've read that the Italian Space Agency has contributed to several space weather missions, and we believe that it is important to advance our knowledge of the related phenomena. So in terms of cooperation, we believe that there might be some potential for joint R&D projects and missions, as well as overall partnership for further exploration of space weather phenomena, and some data exchange, integration into existing systems, and beta testing. So I'm not going to take more time. I didn't want to go deep inside our company, but I'll be happy to share the full presentation about our operations further on. Thank you very much for your time and attention. From Mission Space, Earth is only start, and it's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much. And now, last but not least, we have Kalvis Salmiņš, the director of the Institute of Astronomy at the University of Latvia. The floor is yours.
Hello, good everyone. So I will try to share my screen. Yeah, I hope you can see it now. So I am representing the Institute of Astronomy, University of Latvia. First, a few words about our institution. Okay, we are approaching our 100-year anniversary next year. We are operating 2 observatories. One is located near Riga in Baldon, and second is a satellite laser ranging station is located within Riga. And I will talk only in context of space situation awareness, as was it contains 3 main components: space weather, near-Earth objects, and space surveillance and tracking. We are operating in these 2 last, with near-Earth object and space surveillance and tracking. We are trying to enter these fields. So here how it's in Baldon Astrophysical Observatory, it is no member of International Asteroid Warning Network. We are making not only observations of near-Earth objects and asteroids, but are also trying to determine their physical properties. And another interesting note is that we have a very large plate archive covering more than 40 years, and we are looking also for registered but not asteroids and to improve their orbits. Our laser ranging systems, now we are also looking forward to enter as a member state in the European Union Space Surveillance and Tracking Consortium. And we are currently working on 2 projects. One involves a multi-static space debris laser ranging, which is funded by ESA, and also in satellite photometry to determine the characteristics of their objects in space. So for a few words about the Baldwin telescope. Here in the context, it's among the biggest Schmidt cameras in the world. So it's 1 meter mirror and 80 centimeters aperture. And we have equipped it with also some small version of the so-called fly-eye configuration with multiple CCD cameras to fully exploit the, at least try to exploit the large field of view with, let's say, not spending tons of money. And for laser ranging station, we are in the satellite tracking business since 1957, when there was International Geophysical Year, and we start tracking the satellites. Laser ranging systems operating permanently since 1987. We are a member of this International Laser Ranging Service, and also we have quite a large telescope with 1 meter main mirror, and this we see as an advantage to use it also for the space surveillance and tracking purposes. And to ending my brief presentation, here's a small example of how we are tracking the ESA payload adapter with our tracking camera, among other tests. So it concludes my brief presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. And this presentation also concludes this event. So this webinar has showed that there's ample room for bilateral cooperation from the areas of satellite observation, geoinformation systems, to electronic components, spatial materials, and satellite sensors, but also in terms of collaboration between universities and research centers. And we are confident that these contributions and presentations from both Latvian and Italian companies and associations will provide the way for closer cooperation. Thank you everyone for participating, and we look forward to welcoming some projects in the near future. Thank you.